भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते। Oh, as we saw last time, Tattva Vivekah Kaha, what is the discriminative analysis? What is the discriminative knowledge? And we have a very loaded statement, Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithya Iti. So there are three words. In a way, we need to understand four words. Satyam, Mithya. And what is Atma and what is Tad Anyat? Now, please understand, as we said last time, I would like to repeat, there is these two words do not indicate an object. When I say a phone, it indicates a corresponding object in the world. When I say car, it indicates a corresponding object in the world, four-wheel, something vehicle. When I say house, it indicates something. Satya and Mithya words have no corresponding object. They indicate your understanding about the reality of about that particular object. So these two words reveal your appreciation, your vision or your view about the objects. Why I'm emphasizing this? Because I myself had a confusion. I grew up hearing, being in India, that every Jagat is Mithya, Jagat is Mithya. Then you think, how can this be Mithya? This is real. So Mithya, Jagat is Mithya statement is in a way Madhyam Pad Lopi Samad. The reality of the Jagat is Mithya. Okay? Jagat per se, you cannot say there is a Mithya, Vastu called Mithya. So Mithya means Jagat. That is what our understanding was, which is not true. Now, what is Satyam and Mithya? There is one word, Satyam, means which is there in all the three periods of time. And Tucham, which is not there or never there. Okay? Satya means that which is real, that which is exist. So Satya means the existence. Let us accept at the moment. And Tucham, non-existent, they are just compound words like samasa. As we say, khe pushpaha, tham pushpaha. So a flower in the sky flower. So there is a one word called sky and there is another word called flower. And you compound them and create a new word. Shasha Shrungaha, the horns of the hare. So there is a Shasha or Manushya Shrungaha. So there is a Manushya and there is a Shrunga. Then you create new thing, Manushya Shrungaha, which is not there. Never was, never is, and never will be. That is Tucham. Now let us look at all the objects that we perceive or experience in this world. Let us take, for example, a table which is right in front of me. What is table? Generally, as I said earlier, what exists is taken to be Satyam. So we think table is Satyam because it exists. We think chair is Satyam because it exists. House exists, car exists, whole world exists, therefore it is Satyam. It is okay. Now the question comes, when I refer to an object called table, or when I refer to an object called bangle, let us assume it is made of gold. When I say this is table, and when I say this is bangle, where is the wood in the table? Where is the gold in the bangle? Is it inside or outside? Is it above or below? Is it on the eastern side or western or northern and southern side? The answer is the wood is neither inside nor outside, nor above nor below. At the same time, the word wood refers to some other object. When we say wood, it doesn't bring in the pratiti, perception in mind that there is some table only. No, wood is a log of wood, or anything can be there. So now we have two objects, or we have two words for one object, that is a table as well as wood. That there is a chain or a bangle as well as gold. Now by these two words, we refer to only one object. Moreover, the weight of the bangle, suppose it is 100 grams, and the shine of the bangle, the golden shine, all belong to the table, I mean to the gold. The weight of the bangle is a weight of the gold. The shine of the bangle is a shine of the gold. So in that given bangle, what exactly belongs to bangle? The shine belongs to gold means it is goldness because of in the bangle, because of which it shines. I can say this way. It is goldness in the bangle because of which it looks yellow, appears to be yellow. Had it been silver, you can say because of silverness, it appears to be white. The, and the weight of the bangle also, it is because of goldness, it has 100 gram weight. So if you touch that object, there is nothing called bangleness in the bangle. You know, there is nothing called bangle. There is no guna or no vastu, nothing that you can attribute to belonging to bangle. Color, shine, weight, all that we attribute to belonging to gold. Only one thing you can attribute to bangle, that is the form. In a way, form also belongs to gold. Gold, the form is there because there is a gold. So, as such, there is nothing called bangle. As such, there is nothing called table because there is no tableness in that given vastu, in that given object. But at the same time, there is table. You cannot call a log of wood as table. You cannot call some piece of, some rod of gold or some coin of gold weighing 100 grams as a bangle. So that question comes, how do we look at the table or a bangle in terms of reality. We cannot attribute, we cannot say that is Satyam, much less you can say it is Tucham, because on the hand you cannot wear anything other than Bengal, and you cannot wear that gold biscuit on the hand. At the same time, to put the book or to write something, you need this particular table. So there is something called table which doesn't exist on its own. The so-called tangibility of the table or Bengal in terms of shape and the shine and the value and the weight and whatever actually belongs to the gold or the wood. So neither we can call it Satyam nor we can call it Tucham. We have to concede some reality, and that reality we call it as Mithya. Okay? That reality which we concede to table is Mithya. By saying Mithya, we do not deny the existence of table per se. Because in childhood, I remember growing up, listening to example, Jagat is Mithya, like a dream world, and it disappears upon the knowledge. No, there is a Vyavaharik Satta. It exists for me, and it has some utility function to perform. It has some value or need in Vyavahara while I'm living, and that Vastu is accepted as existent, but the reality is Mithya. Okay? In other words, the table or a bangle, that which exists in a borrowed existence, it is because of something else. Something else is, therefore this is. Then that Vastu which is sort of existing in a borrowed existence is called Mithya. Please understand. Now, here we have an example where the existence of a thing is borrowed from only one Vastu. Table borrows its existence from wood, and Bengal borrows its existence from only from the gold. That is accepted. But look at something else. Another, to just to tell you another definition, another understanding about it. Look at this mobile phone. I have my mobile phone in my hand. Now, there are 100 different things in the mobile under the cover. You know, there are so many things in the mobile. There is a battery, there is a cover, and there are some softwares, some chips, etc., are there in the mobile. Now, each one of them is referred to by different word. You don't call that battery as a mobile. You don't call that chip as a mobile. You don't call that cover as a mobile. There is a camera also. When you break it open, there are so many things. Or better, since I don't know much about it, so let me shift to another example. So let us take an example of a car. Yeah, there are so many things. The so-called car, there is a steering and then pedals, brake and accelerator pedals, and there are seats, and there is a chassis, and there is an engine, there is a bonnet, and there is a dicky, and there is a steering and mirror, etc. So many things are there, none of them individually called as car. When they are put together, they are called as car, but not simply put together. In a dump yard, They are put together. When the car is sent over them, it crushes and they are there in the ground. But then when they are put together in certain order to perform certain function, to fulfill certain objective, then the whole thing is called car. Okay. As such, what we refer by the word car is nothing but an assembly of so many things. Car is not self-existent like my Bengal or table. But Bengal and the table depend upon only one thing for its own existence, whereas car exists upon so many things for its existence. Now, if you analyze, just little extra discussion, Anyat sarvam mithya, sarvam. Let us, Anyat word we will see little later. We saw that that which is self-existent is Satya. So, in context of the table and the chair and the plank, table doesn't exist independent of the wood, but wood can exist independent of table. With in the context or with reference to bangle and a chain and a ring, etc., earring, etc., gold is Satyam. Ring is, gold is, is not, gold is not, but a ring is not, gold is still is. But if gold is not, ring is not. This is called Anvaya Vyatireka. When one is, the other is. And when the one is not, still the other is. Or vice versa, when the other is not, one is also not. That is the Anvaya of the gold. When the chain is, gold is. And when the gold is not, chain is also not. So with reference to those ornaments, gold, understand the reality of gold is Satya. And the reality of the ornaments, chain, bangle, earring, etc., ring, earring, etc., is Mithya. Okay. Now, look at the entire world, every object that is around you. Some of you are writing with the pen. Now, what is pen? It is an assembly in Sanskrit called as Sanghataha. Car is an assembly. Sanghatanam pararthatvat. Sanghatanam mithyatvam. Pen is an assembly. Few things put together in certain way, in certain order, and that by it can function, perform certain function, we call it a pen. Otherwise, in Gujarati, we have a word, thachru છે, ઠોચરું છે. Pen નથી, ઠોચરું છે. It doesn't work. Even pen is an assembly. Since it's an assembly, the reality of pen is mithya. The cloth that you are wearing upon, you may call it a shirt or a kurta or a t-shirt, whatever you call it. But there is so-called t-shirt depends on its for its own existence on fabric. Fabric is there, and out of which shirt or kurta or t-shirt was made. But the fabric itself depends upon yarn for its own existence. There was yarn, and therefore the fabric was made, and out of the fabric the shirt is made. We use a word, out of this it is made. But put it this way, shirt depends on fabric for its existence. So the reality of the shirt is mithya, fabric is satyam. But the fabric itself depends upon the yarn for its existence. Therefore, its reality is mithya, yarn is satyam. Yarn itself depends upon the cotton. So hopefully it is made up of cotton. Then the cotton becomes satyam. But cotton itself depends upon so many things. Sun, moon, water, all these natural gases, and a plant, and certain sap that has come, all put together makes cotton. So if you analyze any object around you, the reality of the object is mithya. Sarvam mithya. So sarvam means everything else is mithya. Everything else means the reality of everything else is mithya. Okay? Everything is accepted. Everything else is. I don't deny their existence. I am just denying the real. Shastra do not deny their existence. Mithya doesn't mean a non-existent thing. Mithya means it is a vyavharik existence. It is an existence to fulfill certain purpose for our, as they call it, transactional reality. For day to day, the transaction is there now. Atma Satyam, it says. Atma is Satyam. Now, what is Atma? The translation of the word Atma is I. Okay? And that I is, that I, let us say I is, like car is, pen is, so etc. is. There is, ornament is, like I is. The ornament's isness depends upon the gold. I is full stop. I am self-existent and I know that I is, I am. So I am a self-existent self and self-exist, self-revealing self. Now, this self-existent self is unfortunately not understood as it is. Okay? In other words, that Satyam is understood as Mithya, and that Mithya is understood as Satyam. Okay? According to Shastra, there is a confusion. Since there is a confusion, we have a discriminative inquiry, discriminative analysis. Had there not been any confusion, you don't require a discriminative analysis of anything. There is no confusion that what I am holding in my hand is a phone. Simple. So you did not discriminate between phone and non-phone. On my left hand, there is a phone, and on my right hand, there is an airport case. There is no confusion between the two. Since there is no confusion, there is no discrimination necessary. What kind of confusion is there? As I said, Atma is taken to be non-Atma. That means if Atma is Satyam and other than Atma is Mithya, that means Atma is taken as Mithya and non-Atma is taken as Atma. Non-Atma Anyat Sarva Mithya, Atma Satyam. So non-Atma taken as Atma. That means Mithya is taken as Satyam. There is a confusion. Twofold confusion. Satya taken as Mithya and Mithya taken as Satya. How is Satya Mithya confusion? When someone asks me, hey, who are you or where are you? I reveal my existence at the level of body. I am here. I am man or woman, son and daughter, or husband and wife, and brother and sister of so and so. That means under the skin, up to the body, there is a sense of I-ness. Anything beyond the body is clearly understood as non-I. Nobody confuses, you know, nobody mistakes the clothes as I. Like there is a saying, in our time it was, this Marwadi Pani Puri Bhayaji will change his clothes after 6 months. And our Kathiawadi farmer, when he wears that pajama, wearing itself is so much, so much difficult to pull up because so tight, sticking to the body all the time. And they generally don't change every day morning, but wearing and taking of itself is a process, ordeal. So they use it for 2, 3 months or 2, 3 weeks. Even though thing is sticking to me for 2, 3 weeks, or that earring is there in my ear for so many years, I never take any of them as I. No one takes it. Or even suppose somebody has tooth problem and they have the braces, and the braces are there for almost 1 or 2 years, but that is never taken as I. Nobody takes anything as I. But the body is taken as I. Now, if the body is taken as I, and the translation of the meaning of the word I is Atma, then body in terms of reality becomes Satyam. Now, because body is Satyam, because we only said Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithyeti. Now, if the body being Atma, taken as Atma, as that means Atma being Satyam, then body becomes Satyam. And if this body becomes Satyam, everybody's body becomes Satyam. Actually, that everybody better pronounce as a Bengali. Everybody's body becomes Satyam. Because in everybody, the body is there behind. So everybody's body becomes Satyam. Because that means what? There are so many Satyas, so many truths. And that means it's a relative truth. Like with reference to certain ornaments, gold is Satyam. With reference to certain ornaments, silver is Satyam. So the status of being Satyam given to gold is relative. It is not absolute Satyam. So that means there are so many Satyam. That means everything is Satyam. There is no Mithya, Anyat left out. Because everything is body. Now, further, if body is taken as Atman, if it is Satyam, then it should not depend upon anything else for its own existence. If body were Satyam, like gold is Satyam, gold doesn't depend upon the ornament for its existence. Ornament depends upon the gold. Now, body is, if you analyze, is not any which way different than this mobile example or a car example I gave. In fact, each limb of the body, when certain limbs are put together, then it becomes a body. And inside, outside also so many put together. Like you can have this our traditional model of Sapta Dhatu, seven dhatus, bone and marrow and blood and fecal matter, everything put together. It is a body. You cannot separate all the seven and put it in a bucket. They say there are 233 bones or something. Anyway, doctor may know better. Whatever may be the number. Just put them in a gunny bag. And whatever quantity of the blood is there, put them in a gunny bag and say, this is body. No. All the limbs, hearts and kidneys and liver and pancreas, everything, all the glands and senses of perceptions and senses of action and the skin, everything put together makes it a body. So certainly, body is not Satyam because Sanghatatvat, there are hands and legs and bone marrow and blood and everything put together. That being there is one way of looking at it. Other way of looking, as we know, very well known to Indian, that Pancha Bhautikam Jagat, this whole world consists of Pancha Mahabhutas, five bhutas, Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jala, and Prithvi. So, five things, Pancha Mahabhutas put together in certain way makes it a body. So, from this analysis, defining what we understood the reality word mithya, body cannot be satyam, it is certainly mithya. And since body is mithya, it cannot be atma. Because teacher said, atma satyam. If body is atma, it has to be satyam. We find it is to be mithya, and therefore body cannot be atma. Okay? Please understand. When I say this body is mithya, I am just revealing my understanding about the reality of the body. I'm not negating the usefulness of the body. It is like any other object, even your t-shirt or a shirt or a salwar, whatever. It is put together and to serve a specific purpose. It's a purposeful creation. Being a purposeful creation, it is put together intelligently. And whole creation, if you look at it, it is intelligently put together. So I cannot dismiss it as non-existence or useless. Some people I have heard saying this useless body, this useless mind. It is not useless. It is useful. In fact, from the standpoint of view of the Ishvara, anything useless will not survive in this creation. Everything has a purpose. We may not know the purposefulness of a thing, but everything is purposeful. So by saying that body is mithya, I am neither saying it is useless, I am neither saying it is not there, I am neither denying it is purposefulness, its utility, its need, etc. I am not denying. But then I am just saying the reality is mithya and the satyam is atma. I am satyam. Which the teacher, is going to discuss about the self in a further discussion. But that I, which is self-existent, self-revealing consciousness, is Satya. And anything other than that is mithya. So Satya is taken as mithya when I say I am body, I am born, I am death. And mithya is taken as satyam, means I-ness is confined to body only. That is the confusion. Okay? Body is useful. And that being self, being satyam, it cannot be sanghataha also. Any assembly is mithya. So if the body, Atma is satyam, and still if it is a sanghata, then it becomes equally mithya. If Atma is a satya, then it is not a sanghata. It is, therefore, it is advaya, non-dual. There are no few other things make up Atma. It is what it is, independent of everything else, isness. That's Satyam. So, that Atma, which is not an assembly, which is independent of everything, and which exists on its own, is Satyam. At the moment, we understand only this much about Atma. Because the next question comes, what is Atma? We will see in details. But the point is, the reality of myself is Satyam. And reality of everything else other than myself is Mithya. The difference is, Satya, Mithya cannot exist without Satya. And Satya can exist on its own. With reference to ornaments or Bengal, Mithya Bengal cannot exist without Satya gold, but the gold can exist by itself. Gold does not require Bengal or a chain or a ring or anything else for its existence, whereas they all require gold for their existence. Okay? Now, this is Atma Satyam. Now we have to see Tad Anyat Sarvam. What is Tad Anyat, other than that Atma? Everything other than that Atma is Mithya. What is that other? Okay. And what is the different from Atma is Mithya. What is the difference? So where do we draw a line? Where do we draw a boundary between Atma and Anatma, non-Atma, between Satya and Mithya? So the discussion starts now. Look at the text now. I will just read slowly so that you may understand. There are a lot of compounds, samasas, and it's simple, but once you break it, you will know. The students ask, Atma kaha? He says, what is Atma? First is Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatirikta. So there are four words made a compound. Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatirikta. One word, one characteristic. Second, Pancha Kosha Atitaha. Pancha Kosha Atitaha. Sun, even being that, Avasthatraya Sakshi. Avasthatraya, three states of experience. Sakshi, okay, it is witness. Satchidananda Rupa, Satchidananda Swarupa, San Yastistati. One Yastistati, Swarupena means one who abides in this form, one who exists, one who is in this at Satchit Ananda. Okay, that What is it? One that abides as Satchidananda is Atma. That means one who abides in the form of, if you can use the word form, but better is one who abides as Satchidananda is Atma. Now look at these three words. Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatirikta. That Vyatirikta means distinct. Sharira Shabda goes with all the three. Sthula, Sukshma and Karana word. And Vyatirikta goes with all the three. Sthula Sharirat Vyatirikta. Sukshma Sharirat Vyatirikta. Karana Shariradapi Vyatirikta. That which is different, distinct. Vyatirikta means distinct from Sthula Sharira, gross body, Sukshma Sharira, subtle body, Karana Sharira, let us accept that as a causal body, not casual body, causal body. Okay. Panchakosha Atitaha. Atitaha, that which is beyond five shits. It may look like it, five koshas. Kosha means that covering. Kosha means the sheath. But here, for our understanding, we need to translate because the kosha word creates a lot of confusion. We will see when we deal with that word. But let us say that five types of experiences, five levels of experiences, okay, five varieties of experiences. One which is beyond the five varieties of experiences, and avastha traya sakshi. Sakshi means being witness. That the one who is a witness of all the three avasthas and who abides in the form of one who abides as Satchidananda is called Atma. That is Atma. Okay. Now, this statement is little, distinct or different. It is like saying, when I ask somebody, what is airport? Okay, Apple product, airports. And if someone says it is distinct from iPhone, different from iPad, different from iMac, and that which is a hearing aid wireless is an airport. Either teacher should say, Yah Satchidananda Atma. Why all this distinct from, beyond, or beyond the from, beyond all these levels and witness to, you can go on. Because I gave this example of the eye product, this iPhone, iPad, iMac. This fellow, this girl, the teenage boy said, I have iPhone. His sister said, I have iPad. The woman said, I have iMac. The poor husband said, I paid. For all these items, I had to pay that. Nothing else. And they all have I. And I'm still in Samsung. Nothing else. Okay. Because I paid. Anyway, this is because there is a confusion between three Sharira and Atma, between Panchakosha and Atma, and confusion between three Avastha and Atma. Why there is a confusion? And what type of confusion? See, I. Atma means I. That I is not totally unknown. I like this when they declared this iPhone 10, iPhone X. They told this. I read in the news in India back home. Okay, that will be without any port for your hands-free gadget, and they are going to create airports and be giving Bluetooth hearing airport, small thing, and something that mentioned. That was totally unknown. Now here I need teacher or somebody to tell me what is Atma. That means who am I? Whereas I know who am I. There is awareness. There is a knowledge. It is not that I am blissfully ignorant about my existence or my swarupa. Otherwise, if there was ignorance total, the fellow would be in coma. And then his or her conduct may not be befitting to the norms of the social or cultural or national norms. Because he just doesn't know who am I. It is not there. I know. How do I know? I am fat or thin. I am happy or unhappy. I am hungry or thirsty. I am ill or well. All different identity is there, varieties of identity. And when we analyze this I, fat or thin, tall or short, you know, white or black, male or female, they all turn out to be mithya. That self that I know is on analysis found to be mithya. Whereas Shruti says Atma Satyam. Now, this confusion is there because though there are words distinct from three shariras, Sakshi, etc., the reason for confusion here is Mithya is not separate from Satyam, and Satyam happens to be self-revealing, self-existent fact. That way, any Mithya cannot stand separate from Satyam. Like table cannot stand or cannot exist independent or separate or distinct from the wood, or a chain or a bangle cannot stand or exist independent of the gold. So, where there is mithya, there is satyam. Please understand. Where there is mithya, there is satyam. We don't have to physically separate. We don't have to look for satyam somewhere else. Right there and then it is. It is like when I say gold is satyam with reference to Bengal, you don't have to look for gold somewhere outside Bengal. There is no satyam vastu somewhere called gold as gold. It is right there when you are confronting or when you are experiencing or when you are seeing or wearing that mithya Bengal. Gold is very much there. I am very much wearing gold along with Bengal. So it is like that is why discriminative inquiry. That is why discriminative analysis. Because Satya and Mithya are as though mixed up, which is in a way not possible also. That which is Mithya cannot get mixed up with Satyam. Bengal cannot mix up with Satyam. But mixing up is in terms of superimposing the form and the name. And that mixing up is so perfect that it is taken as real. The mixed up thing is taken as real. It is like our, I still remember when I was a child, then in those days we had to buy food grains and clean them. So when the rice were bought, you have to remove the pebbles from the rice, you know. And it was so great in the rice that the pebbles were always white, so that the rice and the pebbles are mixed up as true. You need a special eye to separate. There you have to physically separate. Here, Atma is not to be literally separated from Mithya, is to be recognized as distinct from that Mithya. And at the same time, Mithya will not exist without me, the self. So that self-existence as of now, which is as though mixed up with Mithya, has to be seen as this is Satyam part and this is Mithya part. In other words, that this is superimposed self. That's all. And that is why discrimination is necessary. When I say body is Mithya, the body doesn't exist without its Satyam called Atma. Because Atma alone is Satyam. Everything else is Mithya. So when though you may say body is made up of Sapta Dhatu, you can say Panch Mahabhutas, you can say different minerals, you can say different salts, but they themselves are Mithya. Ultimately, the whole perceived world is Mithya. Only one Vastu is being Satyam, that is Atma. So ultimately, body cannot exist without Atma, and that means Atma is very much present in the body. Just as the water is very much present in the wave, gold is very much present in the ornament, or the wood is very much present in the table. Only thing to be corrected is body need not be taken as Atma. Though Atma is present there. Body cannot exist without Atma. But then body need not be taken as Atma. Just to conclude that famous example, actor Amitabh A is very much present in and through the role of beggar B. But beggar B cannot be taken as Amitabh. Amitabh is not beggar. Beggar is Amitabh. B is not independent of A, but A is independent of B. Amitabh is not beggar. Beggar is Amitabh. That is where this confusion is born out of, any confusion is born out of ignorance, and therefore this separation is necessary. Further things to be discussed, we'll see it in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om.